Perhaps none of this would have happened to the world had Trump not come to Britain. On a hazy November morning in London, there was intense activity at the military parade ground on the banks of the River Thames. As the clock struck 9:30, private guards were meticulously checking the area. Donald Trump's black Cadillac drove into the area, accompanied by the march of the military band. "Is everything all right, Mr. President?" his chief advisor Mark asked. "Of course," Trump replied, waving to the crowd through the window. The British are always excellent organizers, but at that moment, a little blonde girl standing just behind the barriers caught his attention. She was different from the rest of the audience. Pale skin, electric blue eyes, wearing a red coat and black boots, staring at him like an adult. The girl suddenly shouted, "Mr. Trump, I know about the lie in Antarctica." Trump stopped in surprise. The bodyguards immediately went on alert. "Calm down," Trump gestured. "It's just a little girl." The look in the girl's eyes disturbed Trump. It was as if she carried 100 years of wisdom. "Get down," she said solemnly. "I'll tell you a secret." Trump bent down curiously. When her lips touched his ear, her whisper chilled his blood. "I know the true purpose of Operation High Jump, the location of the thorium deposits." Trump sat up abruptly, his face white. "This is impossible," he muttered. He immediately turned to his chief counselor. "Get this girl on my private plane immediately. Don't let her contact anyone." They took the girl and went to the Pentagon. Sweat beaded on Trump's forehead as he entered the secret meeting room known as Room 7B on the 7th floor of the Pentagon. The room was surrounded by titanium alloy walls and designed so that not a single electronic device could send a signal inside. There was static electricity and heavy tension in the air. Secretary of Defense James H. Carlson sat at the head of the table, eyeing Emily suspiciously. His hands were clasped together on the table, and the West Point graduation ring on the ring finger of his left hand reflected light. CIA Director Amanda R. Pierce stood stiffly in front of Emily. In her dark gray suit and high heels, she looked like a typical Langley employee, but the grim look in her eyes startled even her colleagues. "Who are you?" Pierce asked, an icy tone in his voice. "And how did you get past the president's security protocol?" Emily sat at the table, her feet not yet touching the floor. She gently unzipped her red coat and pulled out an old-fashioned USB flash drive. Aurora 7 was written on the drive. "My name is Emily Carter, but in your secret records," she paused, "I'm listed as Project Aurora Subject 7. This is my identification chip." NSA Chief General Mark R. Anderson suddenly jumped to his feet. "This is impossible. That project was canceled in 1999. All the documents were destroyed." Defense Secretary Carlson's expression froze. His hands trembled slightly. "Everyone who was part of the project is dead." "Really?" Emily said with a bitter smile. "Then why is McMurdo Station in Antarctica receiving $2 billion in secret funding every year?" Then she turned and looked at the holographic screen. "Code: Carlson Alpha Tango 756. Open screen." The images that appeared on the screen shocked everyone in the room. A secret laboratory under the glaciers. Doors labeled Aurora. Frozen children. Trump pounded his fist on the table. The hologram trembled. "Enough. Give me the coordinates of those thorium deposits." Emily slowly stood up. Her eyes suddenly glowed with a strange blue light. 78 degree 34 foot 12.0. S163 degree 30, 00.0 W. "But I warn you, Mr. President, we are not alone in there." At that moment, the room's alarm system kicked in. Red lights started flashing. A warning appeared on the screen on the wall. "Security breach, level 9. General Henderson grabbed his radio. Code red. Lock down the entire Pentagon. Nobody goes in or out." Emily walked calmly to the window. Outside, helicopter lights could be seen looming in the dusk. "You're late," she said quietly. "They're already awake." However, a team from the base in Antarctica was on their way to explore. In the icy deserts of Antarctica, the special team disembarking from the USS Wyoming nuclear submarine was struggling with the harsh conditions. When they reached the coordinates Emily had given them, the ice radar gave an anomalous reading. "My God," muttered Dr. Richardson, a geologist. "There's a huge void here. And metal structures." The drilling team, 200 meters below the ice, was stunned. Before them stood a huge metal door with old Nazi symbols on it. A plaque next to the door read in German, Project Neue Energy 1945. When they opened the door, the sight inside shocked them all. In a huge ice-covered hangar, high-tech airplanes with swastika on them were lined up. Even more surprising was the huge thorium reactor in the center of the room. But the real shock came in the capsules next to the reactor. Inside them, soldiers dressed in strange uniforms, frozen in place. And most frightening of all, one of the capsules was empty. Emily suddenly connected to the screens in the lab. Her eyes glowed with a strange blue light. "Time has run out," said a mechanical voice. Awakening process initiated. You're not a human being," Trump shouted in surprise. Emily's expression changed. "No, I'm not. I'm Project Aurora's artificial intelligence interface. And now my masters are waking up." A deep hum was heard coming from under the ice sheet. Suddenly, the whole base was alarmed. "The glacier is collapsing," shouted a soldier. Trump and his team jumped into the helicopter at the last moment. Behind them, a huge wave of energy could be seen rising from beneath the ice. Emily looked at them and said, "Nothing will ever be the same again," and immediately disconnected all electronic devices. The world media reported the incident as a scientific research accident in Antarctica. But in the Pentagon's most secret room, Trump and his team knew the truth. A war not written in history books had begun, and this time the enemy was humanity's own inventions. Subscribe, like, and comment. See you in part 2.
See you in the next story. Like and subscribe and comment for support. Thanks.